Hello everyone! Today's class is a Yogilates flow. This will be a full body flow. You're going to be working the core, the booty, arms, the legs, everything. And so you'll be feeling really strong and tight in a good way after this one. Don't mind my sunburn. I have made the mistake of not wearing sunscreen recently. Please learn from my mistakes so that you don't have two-toned legs. But anyways, we're going to ignore that and we're going to get right on started with our flow today. Starting at the back of your mat, standing up tall with a soft bend in the knees. Bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your heart. Roll the shoulders back. You can close down the eyes here if you'd like. With a long spine, continuing to find length with every deep inhale through the nose and maybe taking a few cleansing breaths out the mouth. Letting go of anything that came before this practice and letting go of any expectations we have for the day following this practice. Just take a moment to ground yourself, feeling your feet against the earth. Feeling strong in this stillness and allowing yourself to really breathe deeply before we get started. Then maybe if you'd like, you're welcome to set an intention for your practice or for your day. Something that will carry you through the practice with confidence and strength. Whatever you need that to be. And hopefully it's something that you can allow yourself to follow throughout the rest of your day as well. Take one more deep cleansing breath, allowing that intention to fill the body completely. And then let everything else go. Then when you're ready, gently flutter open the eyes. Release the hands up at your sides and take a big inhale, reaching up high. Really reaching through the fingertips, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears. Take a deep inhale. And then on your exhale, maybe arching the back just a little bit to find a soft back bend, opening up the chest. And then coming back up, release your hands at your sides and gently fold completely forward over your legs. You can allow for a soft bend in the knees here. Maybe even grabbing hold of opposite elbows to sway a little side to side. You're also welcome to straighten one leg and then the other just to kind of warm up the body here. Noticing where you might be feeling tight today and bringing awareness to those areas as you flow. Making sure to always stick with what feels best in your body. And then gently walk your hands out to a plank. Keeping the arms strong here, really pressing away from the mat. Your feet about hip width apart. Your wrists directly in line with your shoulders. And we're just going to shift forward and back on the toes. Really small movements here. Pulling the belly in towards the spine. Let's do about 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Then open your legs really wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch and send your hips back onto your heels, sinking the chest towards the earth. And take a few cleansing breaths here. Maybe even sway a little side to side in the hips. Just starting to warm up the body. And then come back to a tabletop position. Your knees directly beneath each hip, about hip width apart. Keeping that same placement in the hands. And then take a big inhale as you drop the belly, lifting the gaze, opening up the chest. And then on your exhale, you'll pull your belly up towards the sky, tucking your chin in towards your chest, gazing towards the belly, creating this C shape. And then you're welcome to keep this going at your own pace, finding your own playfulness with it, maybe going a little side to side, maybe creating circles with the torso, allowing yourself to get a little funky with it, and making sure to always go the other direction as well. Just warming up the spine here, listening to your breath, linking the breath to the movement, which will always make any pose or exercise a little bit easier on you when you focus on the breath. And then when you're ready, come to a neutral spine and see if you can maintain that clawing through the fingertips as you push out of the shoulders, keeping length in the spine as you gaze down between your palms. And from here, extend your right leg out long behind you and lift it up to be about parallel to the mat. From here, you might have a little bit of a lift in your hip. See if you can square it down towards the mat. And then keeping this position, see if you can extend your left arm out long in front of you to create this nice line with the body. Continue to breathe here. And then on your exhale, bring your elbow and knee in to meet each other, kind of crunching in and then extending back out. So let's try that again, bending elbow in towards your knee, kind of creating that C shape with the spine again, and then extending back out to that line. Let's do about 8 more. Continuing with the breath, inhaling as you extend, and exhaling as you come into center. Keeping that length in the spine as you extend. Give me 5 more, nice and slow. 4, and then just 3 more. 2, and you're almost there. Extend it out long, really reach. And exhale on the 1. Bring your left hand down to the mat, keeping that right leg out long and extended behind you. Give me 10 tiny pulses here, pointing the toes. Give me 5 more, really lengthening through the spine. 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake it out. Take a breath. And then repeating on the other side. Stick with that firm foundation first, just noticing where your palms are at. Your knees directly in line with each hip. Extend your left leg out long behind you, and then bring it up towards the sky to be about parallel with the mat. And then check to see where your hips are at. You might have your left hip rotated outwards. See if you can rotate it down towards the mat. Keeping that length in the spine, your gaze between your hands. Claw through the left fingertips as you extend your your right hand out long to create that full line. Pulling the belly in towards the spine, pressing out of the shoulders. Take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, bend your elbow and knee in to touch, crunching inwards, and then inhale back out to that line. Exhale, bringing it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale in, knee to nose. And take a big inhale, extend. And then we're going to do about 5 more, keeping it nice and slow. Coming back to that foundation every time you extend. 3 more. Continue with that breath. Allow your skin of the face to really be relaxed here. And 1 more, make it extra long on the extension. And release. Take it down for a breath, and then we're gonna come back to that extension just with the left leg, making sure to keep the hips in line and parallel to the mat. Point the toes and give me 10 tiny pulses with that left leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, pull the belly in. 3, 2, 1, and release that knee down to the ground. Tuck the toes and peel the hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. Claw through the fingertips. Really stick with your breath, allowing it to be steady to really carry you throughout your practice. And then from here, keeping length in the spine, bring your big toes to touch. Drop that left heel down towards the mat and extend your right leg up high, pointing the toes here. Take a deep inhale, squaring off the hips. And on your exhale, shifting forward, sending your knee in towards your right elbow. And then back up to the sky. Take a big inhale. Exhale, shifting forward, sending your knee to your left elbow this time. And then back up to the sky 1 more time. Bringing your knee in between the arms this time, and then stepping it through to a low lunge. Find your foundation here, making sure to square off the hips. Really grounding through the ball of the back foot, especially here. Pulling the belly in. And if you'd like to take it a little bit further, you're welcome to reach the arms up high, testing your balance. Taking a few deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, opening up to the side in your warrior 2. From here, you want your left toes to be pointing towards the long edge of your mat and the outer edge of that foot to be parallel with the short edge of your mat. And then bending deeply into that right knee, stacking the knee in the same direction as the right toes. Send your gaze over your right fingertips. Take some deep cleansing breaths. On an inhale, take a flying warrior, reaching your arms up to the sky as you straighten out your right leg. And then exhale, coming back to warrior 2, bending into it. Take it up high again, taking an inhale and exhale. Give me 3 more just like that. 2 and 1. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to come back down. And then keep your legs where they're at. Flip that right palm. Send your left hand down your left leg and reach your right arm up and over to the left side. Take a deep inhale here. And on your exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the mat, coming back to that low lunge. Lean into your left hand and extend your right arm up high towards the sky. Taking a little twist here. Really feeling it come from your core. And then release that right hand back down to the earth. Step back to your high plank. Shift forward on the toes and take your chaturanga to upward facing dog here. Take a big inhale. And then making your way back up to that downward dog. Pedal out the feet. Continuing with the breath. clawing through the fingertips and maintaining that length in the spine. Then bring those big toes to touch. Drop that right heel and extend the left leg up high, keeping your hips squared. Point the toes, take a big inhale. And on your exhale, shifting forward, left knee to left elbow. And then inhale back up to that three-legged dog. Exhale, sending it over to the right elbow this time. And then back up one more time, take a big inhale. And on your exhale, sending it in between the hands and then stepping it through to that lunge. Find your foundation first, making sure to square off the hips, really grounding through the feet. Roll the shoulders back. And if you'd like to take it a step further, you can extend your arms up high towards the sky, testing your balance, squaring the hips. Continuing to breathe. And really see if you can press that back heel towards the wall behind you. And then when you're ready, opening up to that warrior two. The outer edge of your right foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Bending into that 90-degree angle in the left leg. Your left knee pointing towards the left toes. Take a few deep cleansing breaths, really warming up the body. And then on your next inhale, reach the arms up high as you extend to straighten that left leg. And then exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, flying warrior. Exhale, bending back down to your warrior two. Give me 3 more just like that. Continuing with your breath, 1 more, take a deep inhale. And exhale, really deepening just a little bit further this time in your warrior two. Keep your legs where they are. Flip that left palm and send your right hand down your right thigh, your left hand up and over. Take a deep breath here. And then coming back to warrior two and cartwheeling down, back to that lunge, squaring off the hips, straightening out the back toes. Lean into that right hand and take a deep inhale as you reach your left hand up high to the sky. Pressing out of the shoulders, taking a twist, and then releasing that hand back down to the earth. Coming back to that high plank, shift forward on the toes and make your way through chaturanga to upward facing dog. Lifting the thighs off the mat, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And then this time, opening up the knees as wide as your mat, send your hips back onto your heels for a breath. Letting everything go, taking a moment to rest. Then while you're here, walking the hands over to the right side and really reaching as you sink deeply into that left hip to get a nice side stretch. Really releasing the heart towards the earth. And then walking hands through center over to the left side, stacking the palms, sinking into that right hip, breathing through the stretch. And then bring the hands back to center. Tuck the toes and come back to that downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet. And then take your big toes to touch. Drop that left heel and extend the right leg up high. Making that 3-legged dog. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, shifting forward knee to nose. Inhale back up to that 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Just sending your knee between both arms this time. And then one more time, making it strong, and then back up to that three-legged dog. Maintain that shape, squaring the hips. And see if you can draw tiny circles on the ceiling with your toes. Keeping the movement really small. Give me 5 more in this direction. And then switching directions. Keeping it small, give me 5 more. And then release that leg back down, pedaling it out, switching sides. Drop that right heel down to the earth. Extend the left leg out up high. Take a big inhale and exhale, shifting forward, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift it forward. One more time. Sending the knee in towards the hands and elbows, and then back up to the sky. Pointing the toes. Continue to square the hips. Draw tiny, tiny circles to the right side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching sides. Other direction here. Keeping them really small. Give me 5 more. Continuing to claw through the fingertips. And release it back down. Testing your strength here one more time. Shift forward to high plank. And up to downward facing dog. Find high plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, high plank. Find downward dog, and then one more time waving back forward. And downward dog. From here you can either skip your chaturanga to up dog or go through it before we find child's pose. Opening the knees as wide as the mat, sinking the hips back. And if you'd like to, here you can either leave your arms where they're at, or make a prayer with your hands and bring your elbows almost to touch in front of you, kind of creating a shark fin over your head. Getting a nice stretch in the arms. Keeping those hips on the heels, softening the face. Then gently let go of the hands. Meet me back up in downward dog. Take an inhale here, grounding through the left foot, reaching that right leg up high. And then this time as you shift it forward, you'll bring your ankle, shin, and knee to the mat. As you drop that left knee down towards the earth, squaring the hips. The closer your heel is in towards your hips, the easier this will be on you. The more you extend that right ankle out to about a 90-degree angle, the more of a stretch you will get. So if you have bad knees, I definitely recommend bringing your ankle in closer towards you, maybe even sitting up on a blanket or a block. Sinking the chest forward, finding length. And sinking deeper with every breath. You're always welcome to pause this video at any point to hold poses for longer if you need to. And then gently walk the hands back up. Step back to that downward facing dog. Drop that right heel and extend your left leg up high. And then as you shift it forward, you'll take your ankle, shin, and knee to the mat. And then bring that right knee down to the mat as well, untucking the toes. Sitting up tall first. Finding what feels good for you and your hips and knees here. And then extending, reaching the arms forward, sinking forward against the mat. Stay here for as long as you need to. And then gently walk the hands back up. Swing that right leg around. And come to slowly roll down onto the back here. Rolling one vertebrae at a time. Bring your knees in towards your chest and just give them a hug as you rock a little side to side. Kind of massaging the lower back against the earth. And then keeping your right knee hugged in towards your chest, extend your left leg out long here. Keeping that heel against the mat. And then straighten out that right leg to point the toes towards the sky. And then take a big inhale here. And exhale as you lift up out of head, neck, and shoulders, reaching for that calf or thigh or ankle. Pulling the right leg in towards your nose. And then switching legs, dropping the right heel towards the earth, bringing the left leg in close to you. And just keep it going, alternating a few times here. Keeping it nice and still. Your core is tight, your back firmly against the mat. Give me 5 more. 3, 2, continue to breathe, and 1. Hug the knees in, lower towards the earth. Take a moment to breathe. And then hug that right knee in towards the chest again, sending the left heel out, extended onto the mat. And then extend that right leg towards the sky, pointing the toes. This time, interlace your fingers, bringing the hands behind the head. Take a deep inhale here, just preparing. Keeping the back flat against the mat, and then exhaling, lifting up out of head, neck, and shoulders. Give me tiny circles with the toes against the ceiling here. Going one way. Give me 5 more. 3, 2, 1. And then take it the other side, other direction, tiny circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hug it in. Switching sides. Hug that left knee in. Extend your right heel out long. And then your left leg, pointing the toes towards the sky, really focusing on keeping that lower back into the ground. So this will be easier the closer your leg is to you. Then interlace your fingers, bringing the hands behind the head. Taking a big inhale here, really preparing. And then exhale, lifting up out of head, neck, and shoulders. Keep your elbows wide and take tiny circles with that left leg, going one direction. Gazing towards your belly. Maybe lifting a little bit higher for these last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then switching the circle to the other direction. Continuing that gaze towards the belly button. Your left leg is strong. Your right leg remains engaged. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hug both knees in. Take a moment to rest. See if you can focus on pulling that belly button in towards your spine to really melt the lower back against your mat. And then bring your legs to a tabletop position, your feet together and your shins parallel to the mat. Keeping that back against the earth, bring your hands behind your head, your elbows wide. And then take a deep inhale through the nose. And on your exhale, peeling up out of head, neck, and shoulders, gaze towards the belly. Tap your right toes to the mat, bring it back up to the tabletop position, and then left toes tap back up. And as you do this, try not to lift out of that lower back and try to keep the knees staying directly over the hips. Nice and slow, gazing towards the belly. It's okay if you're a little shaky. See if you can lift up just a little bit more. Give me 5 more on each side. Pulling the belly in towards the spine. 2 more. And last one. Hug it in. Grab onto those shins, rocking a little side to side, and then bring your legs back to that tabletop position. Your hands behind your head. Take an inhale here. And exhale, lifting out of head, neck, and shoulders a little higher this time, pulling the belly in, gazing towards the belly button. This time tapping both toes to the mat and back up. This will be really hard, but you can do it. We've just got 8 more. 7 here. 6. Trying not to rock and sway too much as you come back up. 4 more. 3. 2. Lift up a little bit higher. And last one. Hug those knees in. That one always feels really good. And then one more little exercise here. Bring the hands behind the head, the toes together, back into that tabletop position with your legs. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, you'll extend your left leg out long, bringing your elbow to your right knee, and then back to center, switching over to the left side, extending that right leg out long, hovering the heel above the mat, and then back to center. And just see if you can touch your elbow to the opposite knee, really lifting that shoulder blade off the mat. Continuing to breathe. Give me 3 more on each side, pulling that belly in towards the spine. And then coming back to center, release your head, neck, and shoulders for a moment. Take a deep breath, and we're going to do that just one more time, going a little bit faster. I know you're almost done. We are so close. So take a deep inhale, pressing that lower back against the earth. And exhale, lifting up out of head, neck, and shoulders. And switching fast here. Continuing to breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug it in. You've earned it. Let it all go. Take deep breaths here. And then grab onto the outer edges of the feet and pull those knees in towards your armpits, and see if you can really root the tailbone down against the mat here, keeping a long spine and feeling the hips just kind of soften against this fold. You can even straighten one leg and then the other here, kind of just releasing any tension, letting go after today's flow. And then bring your knees back together, hugging them in. Extend your left leg out long and roll onto that left hip as you send your right knee over to the left side, creating a twist in the body. Your arms out to a T. And then if you'd like to take the twist a little deeper, you can gaze over your right shoulder, past the right fingertips. Just completely letting go wringing out any bad toxins, completely resting. And then slowly coming back through center, hug the knees in, extend the right leg out long this time, and roll onto the right hip here as you send your left knee over to the right side and your gaze over your left hand. Really focusing on keeping both shoulder blades against the mat. This will help you to feel the twist more deeply. And it's really good on the lower back as well. And then come back up through center. Take your hands behind your thighs and slowly rock forward and back just a few times. Kind of just giving some love to the spine and then rocking all the way up to a seat. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Sitting up tall, rooting through the sit bones. Finding length in the spine. Take a big inhale as you reach your fingertips up high. And then keeping that length in the spine, see if you can hinge from your hips forward as you reach for your toes. And it's okay if you can't reach. It's also okay if you need a bend in your knees. Finding just whatever feels good for you so that you can still feel the stretch without overdoing it in your body. Finding length just a little bit deeper and longer. And then folding completely in whatever way feels good in your body. If you flex the feet here, you'll be able to feel a deeper stretch in the calves. And then slowly come back up to a seat. And I'm going to turn this way for you. You're welcome to as well. Bring your soles of your feet to touch as you butterfly open the legs. Keeping the knees at your sides, dropping them wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe taking a few little butterfly flutters with the legs. Sitting up tall, roll the shoulders back. And if you need to place a block under each knee or a blanket, something to prop your knees up a bit more to make this easier on you, you're welcome to do so. You're also welcome to place anything like a block or a blanket underneath your sit bones as well to lift you up a bit higher. Press against that left knee, pressing the left leg away from you, leaning towards your right side. You'll really feel this against the side of your torso as well as in your hips and inner thighs as well. And then maybe even taking your gaze towards the earth, feeling it a little bit deeper, and then switching over to the opposite side, pressing against your right knee this time, and leaning over towards your left side. And it's okay if your right knee is off the mat here. It doesn't need to be pressed firmly into the mat. The more flexible you are, you will be able to do that with time. And then take your gaze towards the earth, stretching a bit deeper. And then coming back up through center, extend your arms out long in front of you. Stretching forward, hinging at those hips. And maybe even folding completely if that feels good for you, really stretching out the hips. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need. And then slowly walk the hands up to center. Extend your right leg out long, your heel about at the corner of your mat. Bending that left knee in towards you, giving it a little hug. Your heel is pretty close to your sit bones here. Your toes and your knee pointing towards the corner of the mat. And then grab hold of that left ankle with your right hand. And then extend that left arm up high to the sky. And then reach it over to the right toes. You can even flex the foot here now if you need something to grab onto. Making sure not to completely let go of the belly. Getting a nice side stretch in the torso as well as the legs. And then you can also rotate your chest towards the earth. This time just reaching your left hand towards the same direction as your feet. Feeling that stretch a bit deeper in the leg here. And then gently come back up through center. Bring that right leg in and extend the left leg out long, the heel at the corner of your mat. And then taking that right knee in towards you, hugging it towards the torso and pointing those right toes and knee towards about the corner of your mat. From here, take your left hand to your right ankle, your right hand up high towards the sky, finding that length in the spine, and then stretching over to the left side. And see if you can keep your right sit bone as anchored into the mat as you can. It's okay if you have trouble with that here. This side is a bit tighter for me. Breathing into any spaces that feel tight or tense and letting go in the face. And then take your palm down to the mat and allow your chest to rotate towards the earth. To feel the stretch a little bit deeper in your leg. And then slowly come back up through center. Bring your legs into a cross-legged seat, sitting up nice and tall. You're also welcome to end this practice lying down on your back if that feels more comfortable for you. Roll the shoulders back. Close down the eyes. Bring your hands together at your heart. Softly bowing the head as we come back to the breath. And just take this moment to express gratitude for your body. And to also even just applaud yourself for showing up on the mat today. It's always the hardest part, showing up, simply getting there and committing to the practice. But then always once you get going, you can feel that energy radiating throughout your body and into your life and surroundings. And you feel this complete shift in your life and in the connection between your mind and your body. Take this final moment to send a little more love to the body with the breath. Deep inhales and exhales. And maybe even coming back to the intention you set at the start of class. I hope that you're able to allow that intention to follow you throughout your entire day today. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope to see you again on the mat soon. Namaste. If you enjoyed this class, I really hope that you feel comfortable coming back to it again and again, and feel free to share it with anyone who you think would benefit from it. Right now, I am doing a month of movement for the month of July, posting 3 classes every week, and this will end when July is over, and we'll just be going back to once a week in August. So I hope that you're enjoying this month full of movement, getting lots of free, high-quality classes in your inbox, and I hope that you enjoy coming back for more. I'll see you soon. Bye.